The Secrets of Technology is brought to you by the StarQuest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit sqpn.com/give. Hi, I'm Dom Bettinelli, and you're listening to The Secrets of Technology, where we discuss the technology news that's important to you from a uniquely Catholic point of view. And joining me today on the panel are Father Joseph Sund. Hey, Father.
Good to be with you.
And Victor Lambs. Hey, Victor.
Hi, Dom.
And Happy New Year, I should say, because we've been off for a bit.
Happy New Year.
2025 comes in like a lion. And speaking of a new year, I want to tell you about our new podcast that's on the StarQuest Network called A Year in a Year. No, I'm just kidding. It's Vatican II in a year. There seems to be a lot of in a year podcasts. And there's a reason for that, because it is a nice segmented, regimented way of going through something long and perhaps complicated, like the Bible, the Catechism, and in this case, the Documents of Vatican II, over the course of a whole year in small, digestible chunks. And that's what we've got. We've got Vatican II in a year, led by Father Matthew Schneider, and he's already gotten started, but don't worry, we're only a few days into the new year. You still got plenty of time to catch up, and and of course, if it's not 2025 when you listen to this, don't worry, you can listen to this whenever. It doesn't have to be even January 1st to start. So definitely check that out wherever fine podcasts are found, or at sqpn.com/Vatican.
You want to make sure you're all caught up for Vatican III.
Vatican III, The Awakening.
I think it's a good subject for Father Matthew to cover, because I think to understand, there's a lot of misunderstandings of the council, and so to understand the church well, and he's a good, solid mind on that. So looking forward to that.
Yes. And definitely join our Discord, by the way, too, because we've got a new Vatican II Year channel there where Father's showing up. And if you have questions, follow-ups, and that sort of things from the podcast, you can drop them in there as well. All right. So let's get into today's topic. It is a brand new year, beginning of the year. We want to start fresh with things. We got resolutions. I'm not going to the gym. That's water under the bridge. But maybe you have a new resolution to get more organized in life. And so that's what we're going to be talking about, is some tools to help you get organized, and specifically digital journals and daily planners. And when I think about this category, there's several ways you can think about it. It could be like a diary sort of thing, or you could even go with, daily planner. Is that like task management software? And I'm not thinking of it in those terms. I think more like in a daily planner, just something that can help keep you on track and organized for the daily tasks of life, whether it's managing your home or managing an office or managing a club or some sort of organization you belong to. And so that's what I really kind of want to get into. And all of these tools that we're going to talk about function in that manner, but they can also function as the other kinds of plans you mentioned, like diary sorts of things, that sort of thing. So do either of you guys keep a daily planner or daily journal of any sort?
My wife does. She's the organized one. I go into anaphylactic shock every time I try to get organized. I seem to work better without it. I have kind of just a flat file in OneNote where I just, write things down. And that's kind of replaced my obsessive fountain pen and paper notebook habit that I had for many years, where I would just write everything, for all my meetings, take notes. It was a lot of fun to write and stuff, but you can't do a Control F or and search on a paper notebook super easily. Unless you digitize it all. Yeah. Yes. So it's being able to find things quickly is one advantage of doing it digitally.
There always seems to be one, like in a couple, there's one who's the organized one and one who flies by the seat of their pants. If you're lucky, actually. Yeah. Don't be the couple where you're both flying by the seat of your pants. But it's good to have at least one of you who's doing it that way. How about you, Father? Do you keep a journal or planner or both?
For spiritual purposes, I still use the pen and paper. Something about holy hours and journaling on a phone just don't work well with me. But on daily task and things to do, my Synology has a notes app that's hooked to it, and so I have been using that. Switched over from standard notes to that. Simple.
Nice. And we will be talking about both digital and some analog tools as well, and ways you can bridge that divide as well. So for myself, I do a daily journal every day in the morning. I write down, sometimes this is just stuff I did yesterday. And sometimes this is what I'm thinking or feeling or whatever. Yes, I do have feelings, and I do write them down. No. I'm going to read some selections from my journal of the most important feelings to me. I will not be doing that.
I'm feeling something right now.
Hunger.
I'm feeling panic, actually, and anxiety, and I'm going to be running. I do use the Day One, which is a cross-platform app. It's protected behind a password. It's got RSA 128 encryption. It's really strong encryption. And one of the ways I use it is I have a template that pops up every day, and it does things like, what are the top 3 things I need to do today? And these are the 3 things that if they don't get done today, it's a major problem. And sometimes it's work related, sometimes it's family related. Then there's what's the number 1 priority? What's the one thing I got to get done? And then there's things like, when did I go to bed last night? What time did I get up this morning? These are ways of being reflective on, am I getting enough sleep? And even things like, I also always ask myself, what am I grateful for today? And this is sort of that attitude of gratitude thing that you hear a lot people talk about. But if you force yourself to think about gratitude, you can find a lot of good in your life, and that's a very helpful thing. And then I have a checklist of, what have I today done? Have I brushed my teeth, taken my medicine, exercised, said a rosary? Did I have a snack after dinner last night? These are the kind of like silly things almost, like of course you brush your teeth every day. But in a way, by checking this off every day, it's a way of saying I'm taking care of the basic things in my life. They're getting done, and it's a way of sort of reinforcing to myself, you're taking care of the basics and the primaries. And so this pops up every day and populates in Day One, and I put it in there, and then I reflect. And then when I'm done, I go back and I read all of my entries from previous years. Now, I've been doing this every day for almost 2 years now, but I've had Day One as a product for I think it's up to 13 years now. I think I started 13. I just wasn't very good at doing it on a regular basis early on. But Day One interfaces with a lot of external things, and it can import social media posts. And so I have separate journals in there these are all of my social media posts. And can be embarrassing to go back and look at that.
Oh boy.
And I actually have a journal of what I call Nanu stories. Nanu was my dad's name for my kids had for him. He was Nanu. And my dad told all kinds of stories. And several years ago, I resolved to start collecting all my dad's stories. And I've saved them all in a journal there. And every once in a while, I go back and look at it. And so Day One's a great place for saving stuff like that. And it's very private. So I keep Day One. I also have a work journal that I keep in Obsidian, which is, I've talked about many times. And that's just a record of what I've done today, at work. And it's a way of me just keeping track of sort of institutional knowledge of the things that have happened at SQPN, over the time. So that's what I've been using Day One. I love it. It's a little more expensive than others. It's got a monthly subscription, but it does everything I want it to. So it's been really great. Another option out there is Apple Journal. It's free. If you're an Apple user, it comes on your phone. Almost everything we're going to talk about is cross-platform. This is the only one that I'm going to mention that is behind the walled garden or in the walled garden. It's okay for a free thing. It's not so much. I don't feel like it's like a daily planner type of thing so much as I want to make nice little daily records of my life sort of thing, sort of a scrap. It's more scrapbookish than it is daily planner or journal in my experience or my use of it. I would imagine that other people maybe get more and better use out of it than I ever have. So those are the two I want to start with. Victor, you said when we were planning that your wife uses something called Blessed is She. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I don't know too much about the outfit. They're a Catholic women's apostolate endorsed by the Diocese of Phoenix, I believe. And for several years, they've been selling, notebooks, planners, other things. And last year for Christmas, among other things, I didn't just get her the planner. I got her the paper planner, and it's nice. It has like Bible verses in it. I think there's a page for every day. Tells you when novenas start, and what the saint of the day is, and all of that. And it's great. You can write in it if you like writing, but this year she's trying their digital version, which is kind of interesting in that it's not an app or web service that they run, which is probably for the best. It's actually a PDF or an add-on that you can add on to another app called GoodNotes. And GoodNotes has, I think, an annual subscription. It's one of those, planner note-taking services. And then you import the Blessed is She planner into it, and then you can, type, write, add pages, just as you would on the paper planner. So she has an iPad with the pencil, and, just instead of marking up paper, she can write. And then I think it lets you even search, what you've written and stuff. So that might be another option if you're looking for something that will, direct you to, I think it's called a liturgical planner or something, but really it's for writing down your own thoughts and what you have to do and get done that day. So if you're looking for something with a more Catholic angle to it, that might be worth checking out.
I give a shout out to GoodNotes because I use it every day myself. I use it when I'm in meetings, like if I'm like a scout committee meeting, like our troop committee meeting. I like to have, instead of having a screen, like a computer in front of me, which is kind of like a wall, I like having an iPad and writing on it like a tablet. I don't know, it feels less like technological divide when I'm doing that. So I do that, but every day I use it I do crossword puzzles on it. So our local paper, you can print out the daily crossword puzzle from their website. So I print it to PDF and then put the PDF in GoodNotes, and that way I hate crosswords on the web or on an app where you get the boxes you got to type into. I hate that. I like to write in the box, like the God intended crossword puzzles to be done. But I hate wasting the paper of printing it out every day. So this way I just import it into GoodNotes, and GoodNotes was I think it's like intended to be like a note taking for like students. I think that's its primary, the way it's, at least it's marketed that way. Mm-hmm. And some of the, I wish I had this in college. I mean, it would have been awesome to have something like this. Man. Yeah. I
still have Apple boxes filled with all my college notebooks, spiral bound notebooks.
Oh my gosh,
of them downstairs.
Yep. Awesome. So yeah, actually, that's kind of a great idea. Like the PDF templates as a way to do journal, and you don't even have to like buy it from someone else. You could create your own PDF templates if you're all handy with a. In fact, there's probably dozens of them out free on the web too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So if you just get the GoodNotes app and you have an iPad with an Apple Pencil, that would be perfect.
Yeah, I've done the pick of a week before of the Onyx book, which is that e-ink with a pen to it, and I do note taking on that and have it set to back up to the cloud as PDFs. And so that works really nicely. And that has built in a lot of stationery and stuff with it. I use that more from like, if I'm listening to talks like that I'm in person for, and I don't want to have a laptop in front of me taking notes, but I also don't want to take notes on paper. So it's kind of that happy medium there.
That is a great compromise, is that, you don't having to have a notebook and having that portable version of whatever you're writing, but having the feel of using a notebook, a pen and paper. And that's kind of what like the next one on our list is a little like this as well. It's called Zinnia. I found this online. Zinnia Journal Planner. It's in the App Store. It's another iPad, Apple Pencil app where it seems to be more toward people more creative than I am. For basically, it's a lot more about visual stuff, artistic. There's like stamps and clip art and lots of other things like that I'm much more of a straight lines, words on page sort of person. So would not be for me. But if a page of lined paper gives you the hives, this may be the thing for you a little better. It's free to try.
Distract me from taking notes. I'd be so distracted putting all the extra little sparkles in there that I wouldn't ever take notes.
I know if you're prone to the attention deficit, that might be a tricky one. But to get a free trial, and it's $4 a month. So you'd have to weigh the cost of it. And that one of the things you have to be wary of is with these paid, especially subscription apps, is can you get your stuff out of it? And that's what you want to make sure. If you decide I don't want to do Zinnia anymore, well, what happens to your journal? Does it go away? Does it stay, in the app, or can you export it? So with any of these, you want to make sure you have export options. I know that day one you can export to PDF. You can even print books. I'm not sure I'd ever want to put my journal on paper where anybody could pick it up and read it, but nevertheless, there are ways to get stuff out of it. So Zinnia, it looks interesting. It looks nice. It's more visual. So if that's the way you think, that might be something new for you. Then there's one that's called Note Shelf, which they claim to be AI powered handwriting. So, whatever that means, everything's AI powered these days. I'm AI powered. But it's cross platform. And that's the main attraction here, is that it's on iOS, Android, and Windows. So that you can, use it on any of those Windows. I think it's intended for the Windows tablet. What do they call that now? The Windows tablet.
Oh, the Surface? Surface.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brain
people
function.
Still use that.
I've seen it on TV shows, so apparently. But it's like Zinnia, where it's more, or GoodNotes even, where it's more about, writing on the screen, and it's more freeform there. But it's another one to check out. If you're looking for something free, there's something called Journey Diary at journey.cloud. That is a free app. They have a web app, and they also have a downloadable app, which is both Android and iOS. Mac. Actually, I'm sorry. Android, iOS, Mac, Windows, Linux. So it's available on all the platforms.
Finally,
a Linux option, yes, for all you Linux heads, all you penguins. So it's another option to check out. And free, I think, or you have memberships. Oh, it's not exactly free. I thought it was free based on what I looked at. But now I've come in here and it says you can pay $4.17 a month, billed annually, or pay $200 for a lifetime. Wow. Okay, so the opposite of free. Excuse me for that. I thought I found a free option. Let's see. Then there is one called Reflectly, and I threw this on the list because they claim to be the world's first intelligent journal. It uses artificial intelligence to throw prompts at you on a daily basis, which is interesting. If you're the sort of person that you want some help,
yeah.
I mean, they call it your personal mental health companion, so it's really aimed at that sort of journaling. But I guess it's supposed to be, learn about you as you go and create prompts based on your history with it. I'll be honest, that feels super creepy and invasive.
Yeah,
but maybe it isn't.
It just gave me prompts that were random, not that it was reading my journal and giving me prompts. No.
Yeah.
Nope. Not going with that.
Some people would be okay with that. I don't know that I want that. Yeah, that seems a little much.
This is the AI powered confessional.
Oh no. Yeah.
No.
With a direct line to Zuck.
Not going there. Not going there.
Oh,
How
man.
many Black Forest torts did you eat this week? All of them.
How many were there? So those are a bunch of the digital, versions, but there are also some low tech, options as well. You don't have to be high tech with this. Victor, you had one on here that you liked. What was that?
Yeah, so a couple options, and I just noticed now that all of my choices are made in Japan. Something about like notebooks from Japan, the paper, it just
Japanese stationery is awesome.
Yeah, yeah. My favorite notebook, and this is just a basic notebook, 8 by 6 inches, 80 pages. But it's compact. It has a nice plastic cover. It's spiral bound. The paper feels great, and it's under $8 for a notebook. And that's the Maruman. I call it Mnemosyne, but it probably Mnemosthene or whatever the Greek goddess of memory is. And I've used these for years for taking notes at work. And I just fill them up, and they're easy to store if you need to store them. They take fountain pen ink, gel pen ink. I've even used like watercolors on them too. It's just a really great low price notebook that you don't feel bad about using because it's so inexpensive, but it just feels really good to use. Another one that I've used in the past, but I'm not a planner guy, so it I think that's the Hobonichi Techo planners, which you can buy at jetpens.com, which if you want to buy fountain pens or any sort of stationery, that's a good site, but you can find them other places too. And what's really cool is they are very compact. The paper is very thin, but very durable. So you get like a full year's planner in basically the size of a compact notebook. So that's good. And then the last one it's not available for purchase with money, but if you are a Nintendo Switch or, a former 3DS user, you may notice that Nintendo gives you platinum points for doing certain things like playing games or doing tasks on their website, like clicking on coins and just visiting their websites. You earn these platinum points for that, or using their mobile apps. And you might be wondering, what do I do with all these platinum points? On the Nintendo website, they have a reward where you can cash in your points, and for the cost of shipping, you get what's called a Mario and Me 3-year journey journal book. And this is perfect for kids. If you want your kids to start journaling and they're into Nintendo, it's, full color pages, has an entry for every day over a 3-year period. And then, they're encouraged to write about what they did that day, but it also prompts them, like with questions like, what do you think Mario would do in this situation? Or what do you think Luigi's bedroom looks like? And that sort of thing. And so if they're stuck for writing prompts, they can just write in it. And I gave it to our then 10-year-old son or 11-year-old son last year. And like every night I'd go up to tell him to turn off his light and he'd be writing in his journal. So not the easiest thing to get your hands on, but if you have a kid who likes Nintendo, it's worth looking into how you can acquire one of these, because it really worked in our case.
What would Luigi do in this situation? He'd probably throw a turtle at somebody.
Yeah.
I have a couple of analog solutions as well. And the first one, this goes back 30 years. I was a Franklin Planner guy ages and ages ago. And in fact, I have a milk crate full of Franklin Planner annual cases up in the attic. That's where I took all of my college notes, was in a Franklin Planner. I loved the idea of it. They had all these specialty pages that you could get, and you had calendars you could get daily planners, and you could follow the Franklin Covey, productivity method, and list out your tasks and priorities for the day and do all that stuff. And they had all kinds of different, I loved having all the different kinds of pages, as contact pages and graph paper. And, you could buy it all, right? Because that was the idea, was to buy it all. But as a planner, I mean, if you're looking for an analog planner, they're really nice, and they come with some amazing covers. These leather zip up covers, and they're really aimed at the young rising executive sort of thing. I can imagine what it would be like to show up in an office carrying one of these now instead of like a laptop computer, but people might be impressed, I guess. I don't know.
Did they have whole like Franklin Covey stores and malls or something at some point?
Yep.
I seem to remember that. Yeah,
it was huge.
That was like the golden era of note taking, I guess.
Yeah, it was. The other thing is something I've actually used more is Moleskine notebooks, or Moleskine, Moleskine. Some people say, but it's Italian, so I always say Moleskine. They are an Italian company that makes notebooks, and they come in various sizes now, but the kind of like the original gold standard one was, I think it was like 5x8, and it has this elastic band that snaps around it to keep it shut, and a little bookmark sort of ribbon that sticks out of it, and it's this very satisfying elastic band thing. You snap it on there that says I'm done doing what I was doing. You know what I mean? I'm that cop detective, and I'm done interviewing the suspect. So I snap the rubber band back on it to close it and shove it in my pocket because I'm done with you now, you scum, or whatever. Take him away. But I've kept one of these notebooks when I was working an office job for a very long time, and I just used it to do things like write down, something somebody told me, the boss told me to do, or notes in a meeting, or just all kinds of stuff. And it was just great to have it all in this notebook. And I still have these books, and it's kind of fun to pull them out every once in a while and look at the way life used to be. I have one now that I use exclusively as a prayer journal. It's not so much a journal as just I used it to write down prayer intentions for people. Like every time someone says, "Hey, can you pray for what's one?" I try to write it in the journal, and that way, when next time I'm saying my rosary or something, pop it open and I go through all the intentions and that sort of stuff. But I keep it just for that purpose. So, but Moleskine notebooks are great. They're well made, the really strong covers. Paper has a really nice feel. So, definitely will recommend those.
I have a really low tech solution.
What's that?
It's cutting scrap paper up to 1/8 sheets that fit perfectly in your pocket. And my first pastor did that, and I laughed at him for doing it. And I find myself doing it a lot now, because when you're on phone calls with people and you need to jot down a quick note, it's good to have scrap paper around. So that's...
Yep. I thought you were going to say the index cards with the alligator clip on it.
Oh, that was my dad. Yeah. 3x5 index cards. He would write, menus, daily menus, to-do lists, notes, and encouraging words to us and me and my sisters. It was 3x5 index cards, and he had the little plastic holder, that kept them all there. And then his ballpoint, his Skillcraft ballpoint pens that he got from the prison he worked at. So
it's always good to take your notes on the backside of a parish council meeting from 6 years ago. So.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is it's really, I think you can tell, it's not so much about the tool, it's about the habit and using what works for you. So if you're looking to get a little more organized, to keep track of things, or to just organize your thoughts and keep a journal, there are tools out there to help you, and just to get started. One of the things that always amazes me is every time I'm at like a scout meeting or another meeting where there's other parents, and there's always the moms who've got the 12-month planners, and it's like, get that thing open and you look at that thing and it's like covered with dates and events, and it's like I'd put her in charge of moving the U.S. Army into battle. I mean, it's just like that sort of organization and the logistics. So whatever works for you, that's what you should use. So definitely excellent. So that is our discussion of that. And before we move on, I want to take a moment to thank our patrons who make it possible for us to create the secrets of technology, including Luke D, Edward F, Amanda M, Sherry D, and Heather T. Their generous donations at sqpn.com/give make it possible for us to continue the secrets of technology and all the shows at StarQuest. And you can join them by visiting sqpn.com/give. So our first headline I want to talk about is based on a couple of YouTube videos that I stumbled across, and it's scandal. There's always YouTube scandals involving YouTube influencers. Yes. But this one, there's this guy called Megalag. He's got a channel, and he does what he sort of like exposés, like almost like news documentary sort style exposés. And he's got one on Honey. Now, you've probably heard of Honey. You may have heard of Honey. Honey is an extension. It's a company owned. It's a browser extension. It's a company owned by PayPal. And what they purport to do is find you, when you're at checkout online, any online retailer, there's usually a place for a promo code or a coupon code. And what the promise is, you'll click a button. Honey will then find you the best deal, the best active codes for you today, so that you can get the best deal possible on whatever it is you're buying. So sounds great. And then Honey, several years ago, maybe a decade ago, started to be like what were super big pushing buying advertising on YouTube channels, Linus Tech Tips and Marquez Brownlee, and big names, really big spender in advertising. But this Megalag found out there's basically two problems with Honey. So I'll get right to the gist of it. Affiliate code replacement and how should I say, deceptive hiding of coupon codes. So the affiliate codes replacement is whenever you click on a link from an influencer, from a YouTuber, from their video to go to Amazon or buy anything, there's a code in there that tells Amazon, hey, this guy referred him, so give him a little bit of money. What Honey was doing was they were intercepting the affiliate code and replacing it with their own. And even to the point where even if you weren't there, if you were just going to a website and clicking, if you've been referred for something, as long as you click Honey, the extension, and you do anything, interact with the extension at all, it replaces the coupon code in the cookie, so that they're basically stealing the referral. Because they didn't refer you to Amazon or whatever the retailer was, the YouTuber did. So that's bad. So they were undercutting the people they were advertising with, which is bad, as well as everybody else. Like they were undercutting everybody out there and stealing everybody's referral codes, not just the people that were showing their ads. So including little guys. Then the other part of it was the retailers did not like Honey. They're like, hey, you're forcing us to give all of these lower prices to all these people out there, even though they didn't, So they kind of struck a deal. Honey started a side business with these retailers saying, you pay us and we'll hide the best coupon codes for you. We won't show the best coupon codes to our users. And so that right there seems like deceptive. Extortion. Yeah. Well, and it also seems deceptive because what they're telling the user is you're going to get the best coupon code. Well, clearly they're not if they're hiding it. So this seems bad. So what do you guys think, like, on this basis? I mean, is this just smart business model on Honey's part? Is it deceptive? Is it harmful to consumers? What do you think?
Well, I'm a big fan of coupons, and I've been known to Google, like, before I buy something, like, company name, coupon code, and just see if it, one out of maybe 10 or 15 actually work. So, I mean, I'm a fan of coupon codes. The only experience I have with Honey was, my older kids watch a lot more YouTube than I do. And, as soon as Honey started advertising, they were like, oh, it's a scam. It's a scam. They go into everything thinking everything's a scam. So I may have raised them that way. But yeah, I mean, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. If you're not paying for something, you're the product. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they're there to make money off of you. And it's, hopefully the YouTubers also got paid for their advertising as well. If they were just relying on the commissions, that's kind of crummy of Honey.
Well, the thing is, they're not just stealing the commissions off of the videos that Honey advertises in. They're stealing every commission.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they were doing, even when there was no coupon code, like sometimes you'd click on it, like, hey, give me a good, there are no coupon codes for this retailer right now. They'd still steal the referral. Like they'd still insert themselves in there. They did nothing to earn the referral. And it's creepy, and it's PayPal. And PayPal, I'm sorry, but PayPal has for many years acquired for itself a bad reputation for being a bad net citizen. Shutting down people's PayPal accounts for no good reason and refusing to give them their money, that sort of thing. It just makes me dislike PayPal even more. I know I'm not going to install Honey extensions, and I'm going to be, to be honest, they're probably not the only one. There are other coupon code sort of browser extensions out there. They're probably doing the same thing because that's how they're going to earn their money. Like how else is, they're not doing this out of the goodness of their heart, just trying to save you some money. They're making money somehow. And the question is how are they doing it? And I don't think this is a good business model, frankly.
All this talk of PayPal makes me want to make a good dad joke here.
Okay.
I decided to sell all my John Lennon memorabilia on eBay.
Uh-huh.
Imagine all the PayPal.
Oh man, I'm not even sure I'm not sure that's a good dad joke. That's oh, that was painful. Folks, would you let us know what you think? Are you going to keep using Honey? If you do, is it worthwhile to you? Do you feel like this is a step too far? I'll be curious to see if they respond and if there's any repercussions for them based on this. So it'd be interesting. So another story is apparently AI has rolled out. Meta has rolled out this new program on Instagram. I think it's just on Instagram so far, where users can create fake AI profiles of fake people doing fake things, living a fake life. Like, and it's like you set up the AI and it kind of runs itself. I think it's not like you continue to populate it. Like it's set up and then it goes and then you get to follow this. It's almost like The Sims. I don't know. It's kind of weird. One of the things someone points out in this is like this one particular profile in this article that the headline is Meta's fake AI users are here and they're giving everyone the creeps. Someone points out like this fake profile goes and does like a fake community service and a fake charity for fake needy people. And it's like, what's going on? Like, this is weird. AI Meta says we expect these AIs to actually over time exist on our platforms, kind of in the same way that accounts do. They'll have bios and profile pictures and be able to generate and share content powered by AI on the platform. That's where we see all of this going. But in nowhere that I've tried to dig, why? What do you get? Why is this popular, guys?
This is like the most software developer thing ever. It's like the users aren't using our product right. So I'm just going to create virtual users that'll use our product right and say whatever we want them to say and be whoever we want them to be. And then we'll have total control over our platform, which is also like the most meta thing ever.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, these accounts are probably as real as any of the accounts on Instagram at this point, but
right.
But yeah, no, it's, and you look at who they're like these accounts that they're creating and they're not diehard MAGA fans, right?
Yeah. Yes.
to put it that way. So, yeah, it's just, I guess it wasn't enough of an echo chamber. So they needed to seed it with their own, I don't know, fake users. It's weird.
Well, it makes me wonder, like, is this because people are so invested in living vicariously through others, seemingly perfect, curated lives, that they're willing to do that with fake people as well. I mean, I guess for the average person, fake Liv, this one character they put in this article, is just as real to them as Kim Kardashian, right? I mean, they're not personal friends.
Might be more real.
Might be,
yeah,
more authentic.
Until they go all Microsoft Tay on you there, and it's like shut it down.
They would go Nazi on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing, well, the only other thing I was thinking is maybe this is an opportunity for them to like create fake influencers who advertise real products, like influencers do. Like, I'm wearing this, this blouse by so and so. If you want to buy a copy for yourself, you just click here. You know what I mean? And so you have this. It's basically advertising without having to pay an influencer to do it. You've created it yourself. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, some of these influencers are getting like, 6 figures for just a few posts, so this is probably very cost effective.
At what point do we replace actors in movies with AI people? I mean, that's kind of
it's animation, right?
Yeah.
We're halfway there.
Yeah.
You're getting to that point that you're like, okay, there's these fake profiles of things of influencers. Well, the ultimate influencer is that Hollywood actor and actress. And so can I replace them?
I think I've seen it's out of Japan or Korea, this trend, or like, I don't know how much of a trend it is, but I've seen things where like they've created these AI generated pop stars that have followings and, make music and they're completely computer generated, and yet they're popular. And it's just, there's something very dystopian about all that. I mean, eventually they're just going to have fake users following fake profiles, and maybe we'll all be outside touching grass. You know what I mean? And Facebook could just be, there doing its own thing with all the robots. Maybe, I don't know. And yes, this article that I'm linking to points out Facebook has already got a problem with AI generated junk all over its service. I don't know if you guys notice, or spend much time on Facebook. I do spend some time there, and there's lots of AI generated imagery, like give a like for this beautiful home in the mountains. And I'm like, do you realize that tree is growing through the front porch, right?
Yeah.
those shelves don't actually connect to reality, right?
Or the disabled veterans with the begging signs, and they have like 8 fingers on each hand and stuff. That's the one you see a lot. Yeah.
Why doesn't this get any more likes?
Share pictures like this.
Yeah, that's the line. Why isn't the pictures like this don't get shared? Oh, they get shared way too often. Well, speaking of Facebook's problems, Mark Zuckerberg has identified a problem and looking for to fix it. Apparently, Meta, according to this headline, Meta, the Facebook company, is ending their fact-checking problem, according to Zuckerberg. Not problem, program. Sorry, Doug.
Yeah, Freudian.
Dr. Freud, let me help you off the ground. So this is kind of remarkable. Mark Zuckerberg put out a statement on Tuesday of this week saying that they're eliminating their fact-checking program and they're going to implement something that's more like the community notes on X. And then they're moving their content moderation teams that remain from California to Texas to counter the implicit bias. That last one is the one that got me. Like, wow. What is that? What you're saying is our California employees are all wicked liberal. So we're going to move them to Texas so we get some more conservative viewpoint. It's the only thing I can think of is what they're actually saying. What do you guys think of this? This seems like a huge shift in the online culture to me.
I'm disappointed that the AI users aren't going to be able to fact check the other AI users. But
they'll file community notes.
Oh, okay. Hey, see, so maybe it's not a change. Maybe it's just going to be AI making community notes.
Right.
Yeah. This goes back to kind of what Brett Weinstein, who with his wife, Dr. Heather Hine, does the Dark Horse podcast. They're evolutionary biologists, but very fascinating people to listen to. And he has a phrase called zero is a special number. You know, if there are zero functioning social media platforms out there where people can express themselves, then basically, you know, establishment, whoever can get away with, you know, saying whatever they want without being challenged. But as soon as one exists where people can freely express themselves without fact checkers, there's going to be more, because people will interact on that platform and say, this is the way, you know, social media should be. And whether or not X is successful, it still seems to be constantly going through growing pains and finding its way. But once there is a platform where people can communicate without, you know, having their posts dinged by fact checkers and being suspended off the platform, which still happens on X, other ones will have to follow suit. Otherwise, you know, they'll continue to lose users, or just, you know, their users will be replaced by AIs and AI generated slop. So I think this is just survival for Meta at this point. I don't think it's any change of heart or anything. It's just the way the wind's blowing, and Zuckerberg is, you know, the little balloon.
I wonder though,
in the breeze.
Yeah, I wonder though that, because I've been seeing changes in Zuckerberg over the past year and a half, where I think ever since those congressional hearings where he and the other tech leaders were called on the carpet for the censorship that the platforms were doing, he's really kind of, I don't know, it feels like he's sort of seen the light or what. I mean, in his statement, he really pushed back and said, like, the Biden administration was really forcing us to censor people related to COVID. And now I see that was a huge mistake. And even the censorship that we were being pushed to do in recent elections was, you know, a mistake to allow them to do that to us, you know, and plus he's been cozying up to Trump a little more. And I wonder if he sees, you know, maybe trying to follow in Elon Musk's footsteps a little bit. I don't know. But
Donald Trump asked a question later that it's a good question of we need to solidify things, that it's not just based on the wind of who the president or who the administration or who's controlling Congress, based on what our measurements of censorship are. And so is he just doing this to please one president over the other? And in 4 years, are we going to swing back the other way?
Well, the switch came before, but you know, before Trump was elected. But
yeah.
This announcement came after the election, so I don't know if Trump hadn't won the election, would he be announcing this? Would he be putting Joel Kaplan and Dana White on Meta's board of directors? I don't think so. But
so Joel Kaplan is former Bush White House deputy chief of staff, who's replacing. I'm trying to find out who the guy's replacing, who is a former. So he's the new head of global affairs, which would oversee this sort of thing. Whereas, and Joel Kaplan is replacing this guy from Britain, who is a former deputy prime minister. Who was decidedly more liberal. So it's kind of an interesting move.
Nick Clegg.
Here.
Yeah, Nick Clegg. Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder if it's just cozying up or if it's more, and that's that's sort of
Bob Dylan says you don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, in any case, what I'm looking forward to is no longer having stupid. You're in Facebook jail because you wrote this completely innocuous thing and we're not telling you why. That's the stuff that drove me and others crazy. And in fact, I felt like I was seeing a lot of people talking about this at the end of last year, where like I just wrote this thing and I got a warning and it was taken down and it doesn't explain why, and it certainly doesn't. There's nothing offensive. It's a completely innocuous thing. It was like whatever system they were using was just out of control. Tagging stuff as violating community norms. I just have to think with a community notes model, individual users can still say, hey, this is wrong, or I'm fact checking this, but other users will then be able to say yes or no. They'll be able to vote up or down, and it's just because it doesn't ban it or take it down. It just appends a note to it to provide quote unquote context, or at least another viewpoint on a thing.
Yeah,
and it seems to work pretty well on X.
Yeah, it's worked a lot better than I thought it would. When I saw it come out on X, I was like, oh, great. It's just going to be like a popularity contest. It's still not going to really fix anything, but it's actually been functioning pretty well. I get to review and, vote on the community notes before they're posted and stuff. And so I get to see the really bad ones that don't, get put on the posts. And so having that window into kind of what the bad community notes are, and then seeing which ones actually get promoted to full community note status, it seems to be working, like I said, a lot better than I thought it would.
How do you get access to become one of those people who gets to see the community notes?
I think you apply through your app settings. I'll send you when I remember. I just did it one day, and okay. I think I could actually even write community notes if I wanted to, but
But you don't have to be like a verified blue checker, right?
You might. I don't know. I'll have to check and see. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
So we're going to start introducing Victor Lom's fact checker.
Community noter. Yeah. Well, yeah. So in any case, I think this is a potentially positive change, and hopefully more permanent than not. We'll have to see if when the political winds change, does Facebook change with it? We'll have to see that. Excellent. So, Victor, I just was looking at the picks of the week coming up, and I noticed you're stealing one of my future picks, but that's okay. Let's move.
I'll take that one off then.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
No.
We can leave people in suspense anyway. But I've been very happy with that lately.
You'll have to pull us in next week to find out.
Yeah,
what the week was almost stolen.
I could say that my two older kids got me into it. And yeah, it's the perfect for what it is. It's just about perfect, and it's a lot of fun just sharing stories about it with our older kids. So
you'll have to tune in, folks, to the next time. All right, so let's move on to our picks of the week then, and Victor, I'll let you go with your regular pick of the week.
Yeah, so this is kind of a neat thing that I discovered. And I can explain why I discovered it after I tell you what it is, but it's a 4-inch diameter wooden puck, basically, and in the middle is a super powerful RGB LED that you plug it into a USB power supply, and you can control it. There's a switch and some controls on the cord itself, which is nice, or it comes with a fairly chunky remote that controls the color of the LED and the different light cycling modes and stuff. And you may think, well, why do I want a circular puck with a LED in the middle? And the reason is because anything you have that is transparent or translucent, be it a glass paperweight, a vase, a glass statue, like if you have a religious statue or something, or anything that you might have 3D printed, you can drop it down on this base. It'll shine a bright light up into it, and voila, you have this really cool lamp. So, like I printed a Moai head, put it on the base, and then, I had a cycle changing, Moai head lamp, or, other glass objects you might have around. And it works out to be under $10 per lamp if you buy two of them. And I think it's like $17. If you buy more, it gets cheaper, but it's just really fun. Like, for mood lighting, we had some glass statues that I put on it, and then it creates this really cool glow for the room and looks really cool. So, I can recommend that. It's just kind of fun to just say, "Ooh, what can I turn into a lamp?" And
that's cool. That's actually a fun little project. Now I'm sitting there thinking, what do I have that I can? Ooh, I have my whiskey bottle. That would actually be kind of fun.
Exactly. That would. Yeah. I mean, bottles would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cut glass or crystal.
Yeah.
Excellent. Nice. Father Joseph, what is your pick this week?
My pick this week is fairly simple. So backstory on this is, for my siblings, I gave a USB thumb drive with my dad's records digitized on them for Christmas. Was their Christmas present. And so in doing that, I actually discovered that if I put that USB drive into the USB of my car, the head unit of the car just starts playing music off the USB drive.
Oh, wow.
And good discovery, and something that's very cheap and very simple on something that you've already paid a lot of money for. And so, buying a $6 or $7 32 gigabyte USB drive, and if you have some MP3s laying around, even if you're driving through the middle of nowhere, you got your music collection with you. I've been fairly impressed with, I own a Jeep, and Jeep's infotainment center, the way it organizes the MP3s and everything, it does it pretty well. By genre, by artist, by album, gives you your shuffle functions, all of those things. So I'm going to guess most of the major car manufacturers are going to be similar with that. I think it has to be formatted as FAT32, which is pretty standard for most smaller cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and try it on older cars too, because I had a 2010 Ford Fusion with like their first generation sync, infotainment system on it, and I loaded up all my MP3s onto, I think it was a 64 128 gigabyte thumb drive, got the smallest profile one I could, and just popped it into one of the two USB ports on it. And for years it was like, just hit random shuffle play, right? And you're listening to, I don't know, 40,000 different songs, and it's all music you like. So even if you have like an older vehicle, it's worth trying.
Yeah, there's nothing to lose. Right? You just throw it in there. If it works, it works. That's a great idea.
It's been nice to be able to, and I did them pretty high fidelity. Listening to the scratches of records in your car is a unique experience.
What did I just hit?
Yeah. And that's people say, why would you do that? To get your phone right there. But the thing is your phone is, a lot of times you're streaming the music and you're using your data. And especially if you're remote somewhere and you lose a signal and you're not getting that data to begin with, but when you are, you're using all that data, you may as well, if you have your music digitized, you may as well put it on a thumb drive and just have it in the car all the time. Yeah. Just
being a good steward of things. Every time I'm streaming music, I'm using energy. And it may not seem like much, but it adds up between people and people and people. And so if I don't have to be streaming music, then I'm not going to. Do I still do it? Yeah.
And counterpoint from somebody who has music on streaming platforms, every time you stream music, the artist, if they have things set up right, might get a penny or a fraction, shaving of a penny. That's so true. Definitely listen to streaming music but it is cool to have just like, this is my music. I'm listening to my kind of like my own personalized radio station. And it's just something very, very personal about that.
I'm going to switch at the last minute my pick because I just realized I picked it a month and a half ago. So I was going to pick Carbon Copy Cloner 7, but I realized I actually picked it.
Not like a carbon copy of your pick.
Exactly.
In which case, I'm going to steal the one you were going to pick. I'm not going to leave everybody in suspense. Because we can both pick it, because this is a great game called Balatro, Balatro. And the best way to describe it is it's a card-based game that uses poker hands as its paradigm, as its context, but it's not poker. And so it's like using poker hands to gather points as you play, and you increase your deck with specialty cards that do special things as you go. And the idea is you have to earn so many points per round to get to the next round. And it's very challenging at times and a lot of fun and very immersive, and is available in lots of different ways. The way I have it is if I have Apple Arcade, so I can get it for free. So I don't have any, there's no in-app purchases or anything like that. I don't know if the other versions have in-app purchases as well, but it's a lot of fun. Victor, what do you think of it? Maybe you have a better description.
So my kids play it. One has a Steam Deck, one has a laptop. So they have the Steam version. It's on Android. I have the Switch version, and it runs really great. It's basically like a roguelike. Roguelites are games where you have a run where you start off at the very beginning and you go until basically, in this case, you run out of hands and you can't meet the ante for the round you're playing. Right. But you are constantly getting new cards that will help you and knowledge that'll help you as you do your next run. And it rewards kind of hacking which cards you play, because there are modifier cards called jokers. And the jokers all interact with each other and interact with the cards in your hand in different ways. And if you game the system, which my older kids are expert as, you can basically play a hand that will take several minutes to play out and leave you with a score that's like, 2,000 times 10 to the 20th power. I'm not that good. I haven't figured out all the relationships between the cards yet, but it's really good. Like, okay, just let me try one more time, because, you don't really control which of these modifier cards you get. They show up at random in a shop, and you have to take not real money, but the money that you've won through your hands and spend them on it. You can modify the regular cards in your deck. And then there's other modifiers at play as well. So it's, like you said, based on poker. So it's if you know anything about the rules of poker, you can dive in and have a lot of fun with it. But then as you go deeper and deeper into the game and learn what all these different modifiers do, that's where the real kind of game begins. There's kind of like this meta game on top of the poker game. I
realized early on that it's helpful to understand how poker hands work. Yes. But if you're big into poker, it can actually be a detriment to to how you do things. So you kind of have to sometimes unlearn a little bit to get there. So
yeah, because you can play a pair of cards or even a single card, and that will get you, based on your modifiers, like way more points than playing a straight flush or a full house or something.
Exactly. Yeah. I've been having a lot of fun, and the kids like it. And my favorite modifier, so you have like planet celestial cards that modify the point value of different hands. You have tarot cards, which modify the playing cards themselves. And so in the celestial cards, I always I do two pair. For some reason, I'm always getting two pair. Yeah. Which is the planet Uranus. And so my kids will crack up. Dad's improving to Uranus again. It's just like Uranus is the funniest planet. So, it's called Balatro. Everybody's playing it. It's super popular right now. Definitely find it. It's on Steam. It's all different places. How much is? I'm trying to see how much it is on Steam.
It's usually between $10 and $15.
Yeah, it's a really inexpensive, and like I said, if you have Apple Arcade Plus, you got it there. So it's super available, super cheap for everyone. So that is our pick this week, Victor. So we can both share that pick. I'm glad you brought it up. Excellent. So that will be our show for today then. This is, let me see here. I'm just double checking my notes here. So we'd love to hear from you. What did you thought of anything we've talked about today or any part of our discussion? You can let us know by commenting on the show at sqpn.com/technology or the StarQuest Facebook page, facebook.com/StarQuestMedia. Send an email to technology@sqpn.com. Visit the StarQuest Discord community at sqpn.com/Discord, and you'll find links from our discussion and our picks of the week on our show notes at starquest.fm/TEC283. Be sure to follow the Secrets of Tech. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, your favorite podcast app, or our YouTube channel, youtube.com/StarQuestMedia, where you should make sure to hit the bell to get notifications of new episodes. Until next time, Victor Lambs, thank you for joining me and sharing the secrets of technology.
Thanks, Dom.
Father Josephson, thank you as well.
You're welcome. Good to be with you.
And once again, I'm Dom Bettinelli. Thank you for listening to the Secrets of Technology on StarQuest.